You mean nothing to me anymore. Never set foot in this house again." My father's harsh words echoed in my ears. Supported by John, my soon-to-be husband, I left my family home in tears right after I graduated from high school. My name is Amy, and I'm now a 36-year-old farmer. It's been 18 years since I walked away from my family home. From this point on, the time I spend living my chosen life will surpass the time I spent in my family home, a thought that fills me with sentimentality. Our family home was in the city, with my father working in a corporate job and my mother as a stay-at-home mom. It was a family of 4, including my elder brother born a year ahead of me. My parents were the sort who made no secret of ranking their children, with my brother always receiving preferential treatment. The meals we had and the grandeur of our birthday gifts were consistently superior for him. He flaunted his supposed superiority and always belittled me. Loneliness and cries for attention punctuated my childhood, but my parents remained unyielding. I eventually gave up. The turning point in my life came during the summer of my second year in high school. My brother, aiming for a top-tier university, was struggling with poor mock exam results. Frustrated, he vented his anger on me. My parents, treating him with utmost care as if he were a fragile object, piled household chores on me, leaving no time for my studies. Because I outperformed my brother academically, they attempted to lower my grades to boost his spirits. It made no sense. It was during this time that a teacher at my high school mentioned a rural experience program, a 2-night, 3-day immersion in country life. Students could stay at a host farm, harvest vegetables, and cook together. It was an opportunity to escape my toxic home environment, and I bravely signed up for it, despite my father's objections. He had always dismissed agriculture as a career for those who couldn't secure corporate jobs, while my mother scoffed at me, questioning my sanity for willingly embracing manual labor and getting dirty in the mud. I defied my parents' opposition and used my saved pocket money to participate. It was the first time I'd ever gone against their wishes, and it turned out to be an excellent decision. For me, starved for familial love, it was a truly wonderful experience. Working in the fresh rural air was invigorating, and I discovered the warmth of a family. The eldest son of the host family, John, was a year older than me and the same age as my brother. At first, I was wary because of his age, but John was nothing like my brother. He was kind yet firm, got along well with his parents, and was equally kind to me. John's parents were genuinely gentle people. Though it was only 3 days, parting with the farm left me in tears, and John's mom cried alongside me, saying, "You're welcome back anytime." I promised that I would indeed return. Since they didn't use their cell phones much, I started writing them letters regularly. Before long, I began receiving replies from John, and it evolved into an exchange diary. We eventually started dating, a pure long-distance relationship without even a kiss. As my brother failed to get into his first-choice university and ended up in a third-rate private college, I became a college applicant. However, my parents pressured me to get a job instead of pursuing higher education. They claimed women didn't need an education, but the real reason was likely their fear of me attending a better college than my brother. Since the rural experience, I had dreamed of becoming a farmer. While I could become a farmer without attending college, John was a college student who had moved to the city, so I decided to go to college and aim for a new form of farming. With a clear goal in mind, I studied diligently every day, despite the interference from my parents and brother. When I passed the university entrance exam, my father was furious, asking if I was a woman planning to attend a better university than my brother. My mother chimed in, saying they couldn't afford to support me because my brother needed the money. Devastated by their words and a massive argument, I decided to sever all ties with them. John came to pick me up from home, and his parents, now my in-laws, supported my college expenses, allowing me to attend. 4 years later, I married John, and I never contacted my parents or brother during my college years. However, when my in-laws said, We must, at the very least, inform them about the marriage, my husband said as we prepared to visit my childhood home for the first time in 4 years. The timing was chaotic, given the planting season, so we couldn't make the visit until the beginning of summer. Both my husband, my in-laws, and I had sunburned and darkened faces from working outside. However, when we arrived, my parents and my brother openly ridiculed us. My mother asked, no offense, but how old are you exactly? You must be quite poor to be working until you're all dark like this. I felt mortified and pleaded with her to stop, but she ignored me. My brother smirked and taunted, smart people like me make money with intellectual work. If you can only do primitive work, it's proof that you're unintelligent. I turned pale, and the gentle smiles on my in-laws' faces froze. My husband firmly declared, with all due respect, we are proud to be farmers. My father condescendingly laughed and told me, just to make it clear, you're a stranger to us now. You're marrying a poor farmer who has to sweat and work hard. We're going to treat you as if you don't exist. It'll be a problem if you come asking us for money. We don't want to see you anymore. Already disowned at 18, I knew that I was on my own even without being told so explicitly. Still, I tried to maintain the courtesies. The sympathetic looks from my in-laws and John were difficult to bear. On the way home, I quietly wept and resolved to forget about my biological family. Time passed, and 18 years flew by. The emotional wounds had thoroughly healed. I had given birth to 2 children, and my days were busy but fulfilling. Although I had virtually erased the memories of my parents and my brother, I was informed by a cousin that my brother was getting married. My cousin and I had always been close, and we occasionally touched base even after my marriage. We could meet after a long time at the wedding, my cousin said. However, I hadn't heard anything about the marriage from my parents or my brother. Well, since we're estranged, it's true that there's no way for me to know, I replied. I heard they are building a new duplex. I wonder if it's completed. Apparently, both my parents, my brother, and his wife plan to move after the wedding. My cousin knew about the estrangement between my parents and me, but they seemed to think that I would attend weddings and funerals. After finishing the phone call with my cousin, I impulsively dialed my mother's cell phone number. However, I was met with an automated message saying, "This number is no longer in use." I tried calling my father next, and again, the same automated message. Had they changed their cell phone numbers? I didn't know my brother's number, so I couldn't call him. With trembling fingers, I dialed the landline for my family home, and it connected. My heart was pounding as I waited for someone to pick up. "Hello," my brother answered. "Brother, it's Amy," I said. I hesitated over what to say next, about to offer congratulations when my brother cut me off. "There's no need for you to do anything. You're a farmer or a stranger to me. Don't call me." He yelled and hung up the phone. I rushed to call him back, only to find that I was already blocked. This was harsh. No matter how much he hated me, we were still family, and it hurt to be rejected like this. Seeing my distress, my husband was concerned and gently asked, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" I couldn't hold back my tears any longer, and when I told him about the conversation, both my husband and my in-laws were as furious as if it had happened to them. "Your home is here, Amy. Your family is with us," my mother-in-law reassured me. Her words moved me to tears, and I wished she was my real mom. She cared about me much more than my blood-related mother ever did, my father-in-law said, comforting me. "You're happy now, that's all that matters. No need to get hurt. The one who laughs is the winner," he added. My husband chimed in saying, "Let's take them as a bad example and make sure we don't turn out like that." Even our children, not knowing the situation, hugged me tightly. "Thank you, everyone," I said, feeling a warmth in my heart, realizing how happy I was now, even though I wasn't blessed with a supportive biological family. However, things took a drastic turn when my business was featured on national television. My in-laws, originally large-scale grain farmers in the American Midwest, who also grew a wide variety of vegetables and fruits, had a lot of produce that didn't meet the standards. I had studied food business in college and spent a lot of time figuring out how to sell all the produce without waste. I started an online business selling jams, juices, and pickles made from slightly damaged fruits and vegetables that couldn't be sold as they were. Backed by the local farmers' union, my business was a huge success. It was a hit with moms who wanted to feed their children safe, domestically produced food, and seniors who wanted to taste nostalgic homemade pickles. I built up the company with young women who, like me, had married into farming families and unemployed young people. It had grown into a $5 million business. Our success story was covered in an in-depth report, and after the TV broadcast, we received a lot of attention and calls from various people. In addition to orders and inquiries, there were calls for business transactions and interview requests. Both the company's phone and my personal smartphone wouldn't stop ringing. So, when a call came in from an unknown number, I picked it up without thinking, only to find that it was my brother. It seemed he had seen the national television feature about my success and wanted to borrow money to start a business. I swiftly and strongly rejected his request before he called again. My brother incessantly screamed, "Stop arguing and give me the money. If a woman like you can start a business and make money, I'm bound to be successful." It was ironic because it was my brother who had previously declared me a total stranger when I was just a simple farmer. Rather than respond to my brother's pleas, I asked him why they hadn't told me about the move. His answer was surprising. He said, "My wife, she's a city girl. The moment I mentioned you, she said we should cut ties." I didn't want to hear more, so I hung up and blocked his number. I then realized that my brother's wife seemed to have the same character as my brother and my parents. The fact that my brother saw me on TV might mean that my parents saw it too. A few hours later, I received another call from an unknown number, and it turned out to be my father. He demanded, "Why are you the boss? Did you steal a man's job?" I explained that both John and my father-in-law were involved in the farming business, so it was only natural. He seemed somewhat convinced and asked, "Why didn't you contact us?" I responded, "It was you who disowned me," and I hung up and blocked his number. A few minutes later, my mother called, demanding money. She said, "You're making $500 million a year, aren't you? Send money home. We're your real family." I explained that the business makes $500 million in total revenue after paying for expenses and employee salaries, leaving very little left over. My mother accused me of lying and claimed that there was no way that could be true. My patience was wearing thin as my mother persistently demanded money. I couldn't help but wonder if she felt no embarrassment about it. "I'm not going to send money, whether I have it or not." With strangers, I firmly stated, then hung up and blocked her number. I thought that would be the end of it, but I was mistaken. My parents, my brother, and his wife, whom I had never seen before, showed up uninvited at my in-laws' house. My father announced, "Hey, Emmy, want to hear the surprise? I'm revoking the disarmament." Their desperation for money was astounding. Even my mother-in-law couldn't hide her disbelief and asked, "What on earth is going on with you people?" The discomfort was evident, and my father-in-law and mother-in-law glared at my parents in silence. Even the employees had gathered, staring at my parents with astonishment. It was clear that my brother was not welcome either. But my brother retorted, "The real blood connections are us. We have the right to share the money you earn too." The woman who seemed to be my brother's wife nodded in agreement with his words. I was seething. "I don't think so. Even though we share a blood connection, there was no emotional connection at all. You treated me like a stranger and abandoned me." The emotional scars from being abandoned by my biological family resurfaced, and I was on the verge of tears once again. Just then, my husband, John, came and stood beside me. "Emmy is now a part of our family. Even without you disowning her, we are perfectly happy. Please go home," he defended me firmly. The employees also spoke out against my parents, saying, "Were you thinking how rude? There are many people on my side here." As I realized that this was where I truly belonged, I felt profound happiness. My brother grew angrier and yelled, "Shut up, "You country bumpkins. You're all low-educated trash, aren't you? Obey what we say in silence." But John calmly replied, "Well, both my father and I are Ivy League graduates, and Amy has graduated from a well-known agricultural university." This revelation about our educational background seemed to catch my brother by surprise. "Why are you farming, despite being graduates of top universities?" he blurted out. John responded confidently, "Farming is a respectable profession where we can fully utilize what we studied in college." I couldn't help but burst into laughter amidst the tension of the situation. "Brother, you've lost a John and everything," I said, feeling a sense of relief. Perhaps I had been too afraid of my brother and parents. I wanted to make it unequivocal one last time. "We are already strangers." I paused for a moment, deliberately shifting to a more polite tone. "So, I can't lend or give money to strangers. Please leave. If you cause a disturbance or act violently, I'll call the police and take legal action." I made it clear that our ties were severed. My in-laws and husband moved closer to me to shield me from any harm that my parents and brother might cause. I was deeply moved by their protective presence, feeling truly cherished. The employees also chimed in, shouting at my parents to leave. My parents, brother, and sister-in-law glared at us with resentment, but had no choice but to retreat. According to a story I later heard from my cousin, my brother and parents had attempted to get rich quickly through a business venture, accumulating debts instead of seeking financial assistance from me. Their arrogant attitude had led to a significant failure, and now they were on the brink of bankruptcy. However, I had no intention of getting involved anymore. As for me, my work was thriving, and I was surrounded by a true family, including respectable in-laws, a loving husband, and adorable children. I will treasure every day, savoring the joy of life. In the aftermath of the tense confrontation with my estranged family, life continued to unfold in remarkable ways. I found solace and happiness in the warmth of my in-laws and my husband, John, who stood by my side unwaveringly. The unwavering support of my new family proved to be the greatest treasure I could have asked for. My business continued to thrive, and I expanded it even further, working alongside my dedicated team. The success of our venture allowed us to explore new opportunities and make a positive impact on the community. We continued to provide high-quality, sustainable, and affordable products to our customers, and our business became a beacon of hope for those who believed in the power of hard work and resilience. The love and support I received from my husband, John, were an endless source of strength and inspiration. We cherished every moment, raising our wonderful children in a nurturing environment filled with love and respect. The bonds between us grew stronger each day, and our home was filled with laughter and joy. Over time, I rekindled relationships with my extended family, including my cousin who had reached out to me. We forged deep connections based on trust, mutual respect, and shared values. It was a testament to the fact that family goes beyond blood. It is built on love, understanding, and shared experiences. As for my estranged family, they continued to face their own challenges and consequences. I wished them well from a distance, but remained steadfast in my decision to focus on my own path. The scars of the past were no longer an open wound, but a reminder of the strength and resilience I had discovered within myself. In the end, my story was one of triumph over adversity, of finding love and belonging in unexpected places, and of building a life based on my own values and aspirations. It was a testament to the power of choice and the incredible capacity of the human spirit to endure and thrive in the face of challenges. With the passage of time, my business continued to flourish, and it evolved into a community-focused enterprise. We started supporting local farmers and artisans, expanding our product range to showcase the talents of our region. Our commitment to sustainable practices, along with our dedication to quality, gained us a loyal customer base. This connection with our community allowed us to give back in various ways, from supporting local charities to hosting events that celebrated our shared values. As our children grew, we instilled in them the importance of hard work, empathy, and resilience. They witnessed firsthand the importance of family, not solely defined by blood, but by love and shared experiences. Our home became a sanctuary for their growth and development, fostering an environment where they felt loved, nurtured, and encouraged to pursue their dreams. The support from my in-laws remained unwavering. They were not just in-laws, they were the family I had chosen, and I couldn't be more grateful for their love and acceptance. My mother-in-law, in particular, became a cherished friend and confidant, offering her wisdom and guidance as I navigated life's challenges. Meanwhile, my cousin and I continued to build a strong and lasting bond. Our regular interactions allowed us to strengthen our connection, and we often found ourselves sharing life's joys and challenges. This relationship was a testament to the enduring power of chosen family, where genuine love and understanding prevailed. In the broader scope of life, I found solace in my decision to leave the past behind. While my estranged family faced their own trials, I focused on the present and the future. My husband, my children, and the people who surrounded me were my pillars of strength, reminding me that a loving, supportive family can be found in unexpected places. My story serves as a reminder that family is not solely defined by blood ties. It is a connection born from love, shared values, and mutual respect. I had come a long way from being disowned by my biological family, and the journey had made me stronger, more resilient, and deeply appreciative of the true meaning of family and the love that can be found in the most unexpected places.